Hi, I'm Penny Dick's Astro Coach. Welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to a talk I'm going to give today about what I feel is the real truth behind manifestation. First of all, I'd like to say thank you so much for being here and joining me today. I'd also like to say, if you're new to my channel and my work, I'd love it if you'd subscribe. And also, if you would like to have a one-to-one with me for astro coaching, check out some of my astrology videos to get a sense of where I'm coming from with my information. And also, if you would like just plain good old-fashioned straight life coaching, I can offer that too. My website is in the description box beneath the video, and I'd love to meet you. So, let's start with my sense about the law of attraction, and certainly my experience of it is that it can be a little bit misunderstood. It's not that the information that we've been given or has been channeled is incorrect. It's our interpretation of it and the way we use it that sometimes gets off track, so that we have a somewhat distorted understanding of the way the universe and the law of attraction and manifestation work. So, what does manifestation actually mean? Well, the Oxford Dictionary of Etymology describes manifestation literally as something that is made public. So in a sense, that's what we aim to do when we manifest something, a desire. We wish to bring it into reality. We wish to make it real in the public domain. When I was doing these notes, it reminded me of a fairy story, which is The Sorcerer's Apprentice. And my sense is that quite a lot of people, not everyone, but quite a lot of people get caught into what I call that sorcerer's apprentice kind of nature, where they take the book of magic, which is like the sorcerer knows how the law of attraction works, and the apprentice doesn't quite really follow the law correctly and makes mistakes and misunderstands it, and so creates chaos. He certainly manifests what he wants to manifest, which is some buckets and brooms to help clean up the mess. But of course, these buckets and brooms take over. They're a bit like our thoughts when we ruminate and try and work out how to make an intention manifest. So let's break this down into easy, understandable ways of moving forward with this. It's about control on one level. We, as a collective in humanity, want to know what's going to happen. And one of the things we find hardest is to live with uncertainty. And yet, if the pandemic has taught us anything, it certainly taught us how to live with uncertainty. So there's something here about control. We do like to have control. We feel more secure and safe if we have control. But actually, the law of attraction cannot be controlled. It is a flow of energy. It is a flow of energy direct from the divine intelligence that actually wants to give us what we want. But what we often mishear or don't realize is the divine says, but you have to understand that I know best and that I will manifest within the framework of what you're requesting, but it has to be in the form that will serve your highest good. And if we are intending or trying to manifest something that the divine actually knows is not in our highest good, it will do its best to throw us off course. So there's something here about control versus that flow of the divine, that flow of energy. Because control blocks us from the unexpected. And serendipity, luck, unexpected opportunities. So we tend to get caught into, or we can get caught into, my way, just my way, rather than thy way. And if we can get out of our own way and align ourselves with the desires and the signs that the divine is showing us on this path as it unfolds towards the event, situation that we're trying to bring into our lives, then we're working in the flow. Because most of the time, a lot of us, we so much here is about getting out of our own way. So much here is about knowing yourself inside out. That's why the oracle at Delphi had engraved on the archway that led into the temple, know thyself. Because if we don't truly know ourselves, we don't actually truly know what's good for us and what's not good for us. How often have you got yourself into a difficult relationship and somewhere there's been a little voice all along that has said, I don't think he or she is right for you, but we make it happen. We insist that it's going to happen. We want it. We can get caught up in, he's my twin flame, he's my soulmate, or she is my twin flame or soulmate. And we base it often on projection and fantasy, and not necessarily on actually seeing the person as they truly are. Excuse me while I have some water. So, understanding the way the mind works is a huge bonus. Because if we understand the way the mind can get in our way, then we are in a far better position to tune into our intuition, into our soul, into our psyche, to actually understand and know what's best for us. Because if we will not be aware of the synchronicities and the signs that come from the divine if we're caught in our minds, or we look so hard for the signs that we miss them, and it becomes again like the fairy story of the sorcerer's apprentice. Visualization boards. Do they work? Have they worked for you? My feeling is they're not the most helpful way to move forward with manifestation. I think they can perhaps do something in keeping you on track, but I think they limit the outcomes. They limit the abundance of life and opportunity that the divine actually wishes to give us. And also, vision boards become outdated. We can get so fixed on an idea that we think, well, I've always wanted to do this, and I've always wanted to be, famous actress. That's certainly what I wanted to do when I was younger. I wanted to be a famous actress a superstar. Well, actually, it never happened, but am I grateful that it didn't happen? Yes, I am, because as life progressed, I realized that I wasn't really, didn't really have the right mindset for the dedication that is needed to climb that particular ladder, or to suffer the hardships, of course, that the acting profession can bring. I liked my creature comforts too much, being a Taurian. So I think we have to be terribly flexible with our intentions. What about the tarot and horoscopes, astrology, psychics? In my experience, certainly I think one can get quite addicted to these forms of seeking out the answer. I think used sparsely, used at the right time in the right way, they can be exceptionally helpful. With astrology, for example, astrology doesn't predict. It doesn't actually say something is set in stone, or X is going to happen, or Y is going to happen. It shows the energies of whether it's a good time currently, for instance, to find a love relationship. That's what astrology will do. Or is it a good time to change jobs or find a new place to live? That is the benefit of astrology in very simple terms. So I think we often get caught in, we have an addiction to a longed for outcome. And we get so obsessed with a particular outcome. I'm just as guilty as everyone else in this. But I've reached a point in my life where I've realized that some of the things, certainly, or some of the perhaps people I would like to have been involved with, had it actually happened, had I made it happen, they would not have been very good for me at all. So the divine was actually holding me back and protecting me. And this is what sometimes we forget to do, to trust that the divine knows what she is doing. She is trying to give us the best. And what we have to do is somehow get into the flow and align ourselves with what we sense the divine is trying to encourage us towards. It doesn't mean we can't have our goals and our ideas, but you know, if a goal just isn't happening, you then have to kind of look inside yourself again and go, am I blocking this? Is it that somewhere deep down I know it's not really what's right for me? Or is it that somewhere deep down I don't actually want it? Or I'm doing it for the wrong reasons. I'm doing it because people will think how wonderful that I've achieved whatever it is. It's about knowing what your passions are. If you know what your passion is, say, in your talents, your career, if you're passionate about something, then you will find the doors will open very easily. And the situations and synchronistic events will appear to help you on that journey. And I think for me that once I fully realized that the divine did know so much better than me, I fully let go. And I had faith in the direction I was being urged to follow. It's interesting because let's look at relationships, because this is something that is very key to people. When there is a particular person you want, and you won't let go of it, there's a wonderful way round that, because there's a metaphysician who lived in the early 20th century called Florence Scovel Shinn, and she wrote a book called The Game of Life and How to Play It. This book transformed my life. I'll drop the title and the name in the description box beneath the video. Florence says, if you want Bob, you say to the divine, if Bob is on my divine path, show me the way. If not, bring me someone just as nice as Bob, or better, whoever Bob is. If there are lots of Bobs out there, I hope you like your name being used. When that concept fully kind of crystallized for me, I realized, oh, what a relief. Because if I'm with something better, which I can't even envisage at the moment, I'm in a win-win situation. And it took the responsibility away from me. It gave me freedom. And the thing is, once we do get out of our own way and allow the divine to just move us and guide us in the direction that we need to go, it's like we just don't have to have that responsibility anymore. We still have to take actions because nothing happens without action. But if something isn't working, if there's a path we're walking down which really doesn't seem to work, then it's not your path and it's not your door. So what I want to encourage is that you give full responsibility to the divine, to whatever you call your God, whether it's your guardian angel, the divine intelligence. You have to find a word that works for you. This is what Florence talks about. You have to find that word that vibrates on such a deep level with you that you know it represents the word I'm going to use, the divine intelligence. Then you sit back, but you have to have faith, trust. And sometimes that's very hard. But it's only when we let go and have that faith that the divine can start working her magic. What's meant for us will come to us. And what's not meant for us never will. I also want to add at this point, we can't control another's destiny. This is almost the most important truth. Many speakers have talked about this, but I think it gets a bit lost sometimes. If we are trying to manifest into our lives a particular person to spend their life with us, to love us, to be our partnering life, we may manifest it, we may make it happen. But if the path has been very difficult to achieving that, then probably the divine has been trying to tell you, not for you, not for you, but okay, you want to have this lesson, you have this lesson. And coming back to this, we cannot control what other people do or think or want. And when we're caught in thinking we can, we're actually caught in our ego and our narcissism. And we have to step back from that. You cannot control anything or anyone. People have to come together willingly, like minds. Relationships, it's like for two people to unite, their paths and vibrations have to align. And they've both got to want the same thing. So, as I bring this to a close, manifesting the life you desire, the partnership you like, the the career you want requires self-work. Everything comes at a price. There's no free lunches. We have to work on ourselves. We have to know ourselves so well, because the inner understanding is what enables us to see clearly what really serves us and what's good for us in the long term. And I just want to say another thing about control and thinking we can make someone else be part of our life. Would you want to think that someone had that amount of control over the universe that they could make you do whatever they want? That's something to think about when we're caught in that. So, in conclusion, the real truth of manifestation really is far wiser than we can comprehend. And when we become sorcerers' apprentices to the master, we can create a lot of personal internal pain. Trust, faith are the keys to mastering your intentions and your dreams. Allow the creativity of the divine to run through you, your dreams and ideas, and together you co-create with the mastery of the divine. I could say a lot more on this subject, and maybe I will at another time, but for now I'm going to leave you with this, and please comment if you have examples or illustrations to help others when they listen to this video. And I'd like to say thank you for your patience in listening, and I look forward to welcoming you here again. Thank you so much, and bye for now.